Welcome. Thank you for your autage. Welcome to 1 Million Cups, guys. It's Wednesday at 9 a.m. How many in this room, is this your first time at 1 Million Cups? Awesome. Well, welcome. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you enjoy the heck out of it. 1 Million Cups, as those of you who have been here before know, is a weekly event in which two entrepreneurs from the community stand up here and present to you guys what they are building here in Tampa Bay. It's an exciting event. It's an event where you can learn and feel good about your community and the kinds of things that are being built here. You can get free coffee, as sponsored by our great friends at Cow Coffee. Thank you, Cow. There is a price to that. The price is, after there's a 6-minute presentation up here, there is a 20-minute period for Q&A. The onus is then on you to help the companies that are out here. You can help them by asking questions to clarify a point in their presentation. You can make a suggestion. You can make a connection to a customer. We all have deep Rolodexes. It's very important to make those connections to get customers for the folks that are up here, or get vendors, suppliers, mentors, employees, whatever they need. You'll get the opportunity to hear what they need, and then it is on you, it is on us to help build this community and build the entrepreneurs here. We have two awesome presentations today, but you can find more about who's coming up, who's presented in the past, by visiting our website, 1millioncups.com/St. Pete, or signing up. There's an email list back there next to the gentleman in the gray shirt, where you can sign up to get one of our 2 weekly emails, one that tells you who's coming, and the other who tells you who was here, how you can help them, and links to all the events you'll hear about later. Without further ado, I will stop blabbing, pass it along to my friends from Mango App, Brian and Chris. We will get started.
Also, for anyone standing back, there's some seats, there's
Yes.
3 seats up front, and there's a seat over here too, if you want to come on up.
Oh. Great. Absolutely.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Brian, and this is Chris. And we started Mango about a year ago, trying to solve a business problem of getting out and about and looking for a local deal, and wanting to save money right when and where we are. So we built a solution for it. This is a little bit how it works. As a consumer, if you're just walking around, you'll get an alert on your iPhone or Android device alerting you to a deal in the local area. You can view a little bit more information about that particular deal, and then finally you can actually redeem that deal on a barcode right on your phone if you're going to. The theory, how does it work? We've really built a really simple model for the vendors to be any brick and mortar store to do extremely targeted advertising. They simply pick the actual time that they want the advertising to run. They can pick the geographical location and the demographic, the age and gender. So we're the only technology that we are aware of where you can do real-time advertising at this level of granularity. Here's a little bit of the background on the opportunity that we saw when we started founding Mango. So as you can see, this is a trend line that shows these smartphone users, but smartphone users that are mobile coupon users as well. So you can see in 2014, 7 million users were added from 40 million in 2013, and that rate is continuing to increase. And just a little background there, obviously it goes without saying that clipping paper coupons has kind of gone by the wayside. We've found that even desktop coupons are not quite as up to speed as they once were. So there's a huge surge in redeeming coupons on your smartphone. So here's kind of the two-pronged model that we created, as Brian kind of alluded to here. We really had 2 focused opportunities that we were going after, and this addresses the statistics that we saw in the last chart. So first of all, we're driving a free app download for the users, and then easy access to local deals, and they're highly relevant ads in the sense that they can be redeemed right then where the users swim them on their phone. And then from a vendor perspective, we partner with local businesses, restaurants, retail locations, and then some other industries down the road. And we're trying to attract new customers and then retain those customers through loyalty by continuing to let those locations offer deals to those specific people. So this shows the web-based side of the business, which is where we let our vendors, all our deals are vendor-driven. So the vendor would log in, create an account, load their locations, and publish the coupon all within 2 to 3 minutes. So it's extremely easy to use. One of the things we found was that these guys don't have a lot of time, so you really need to get them to make their time very efficient. And then here's the dashboard. So when one of of our partners logs in, they actually see all the statistics behind the way their coupons are performing, the way their stores are performing, impression, redemption rates, and so on. So it really gives them a good snapshot of how Mango's doing for their business. We just launched in March. We've been focused on the Tampa Bay area, trying to stay right here in the local area, and we've really been focused on building case studies. So we've had a chance to work with a couple of local brands. We've worked with every Waffle House in Pinellas County. T105 set a promotion for all 102 stores they have in the Southeast. We've been featured in the Tampa Bay Business Journal and for the Restaurant Lodging Association. So we're getting some traction here in the area. And then this is a quick graph just in terms of our downloads and knives from the store. We're pretty happy with the steady and the consistent growth. Again, we're not really going for the viral component right now. We're nationwide. We're just focused here in the Tampa Bay area. For a monetization model, how do we make money? So the first one is we charge a licensing fee to the brick-and-mortar stores. Right now we're free revenue, but what we're talking with companies right now is to charge them $250 per retail location, and then 25 cents per redemption. The great thing here is that we can keep the cost per acquisition of our customer less than $1, and after they pay the licensing fee, they only pay for performance. The retailers that we're working with typically spend $4,000 to $10,000 a month in advertising, so this is just a drop in the bucket, and it's extremely highly targeted. In the future, as we build the consumer data, we're going to go for having as many users as possible. There'll be other chances to monetize the information we have and the demographics of spending habits for people.
And that's it. We kept it short and sweet. So thank you very, very much for the time. We'll cover this in the coming questions.
This sounds really neat. I would use it. So I'm looking on my Android phone. Do you have an Android app or
Yes,
only
ma'am.
iPhone?
Yes, ma'am. And the easiest way is themangoapp.com, and it'll direct you right to the app store.
Because like when you're working with someone that is a national chain, what do you tell them if they want to go outside of Pinellas County? Just no, or we have a rollout plan for 2 years from now, or what's the response to that?
It'd be a rollout thing that we would work
Because
directly.
I saw your revenue schedule, and I'm gonna say, whatever the sweet spot is, I just think you hit it. I looked at my numbers, that's it. I just think you'll pick up national accounts.
Great. Thank you. Yes, sir.
So talk about your competition. Is there like a coupon me not or what's?
Sure. There's actually, I was
Retail me
just-
not.
Yeah, and Retail Me Not was one of the companies we actually had, we were trying to slide it in here, but for us, it's the time we did it. We actually built out a competitive grid where we really looked at what are our differences. There's dozens of apps that do coupons.
So what are your differences?
So our differences is that number one, we're vendor driven. So Retail Me Not, among many others, they do what's called web scraping, or they do user uploads, which leads to very irrelevant deals. In other words, we were finding deals that were for restaurants in Canada, not here in the Tampa Bay area. So the big difference is that we're vendor driven, and then in the sense that we allow vendors to upload the content themselves. And it's real time. You're only going to get a deal that shows up on Mango that you can go into the store and redeem now. It's not, a coupon that might not be valid at that given time.
And the demographic component, you can spend $20,000 for a billboard on 275, but maybe only 5% of the cars driving by are actually going to buy this product. So this is highly focused. But Retail Me Now was actually a reason we started. We looked at it last year, and it was on Friday. We got a deal for Hungry Howie's Monday Munchies in Canada, here in Florida, and we're like, we can do better than this. And they sold for $8 million last year. So we feel we can do better.
Yes.
Do you have anything built in for conversations with the consumer to the retail store? Can they leave comments? Can they leave reviews? Is that part of your?
Yeah, not today. We've
Is it
got
other
a
things?
laundry list of features
Okay.
that we see down the road, very ambitious features, and currently we don't offer that though. Yes.
There's little that's more frustrating as a business than to buy the latest gizmo, gadget, bell and whistle, and then drop all this money on it. In your case, it's a small spend. But still, to give somebody a tool is one thing. To teach them how to use that tool effectively, I think is really kind of the secret ingredient you could have. Any plans to talk about, mentoring, training, some kind of backing to really show them how to use these tools?
Yeah, that's something that we actually have had a little bit of an obstacle with that because there is a high education curve to it. So while we're small, we can go in and invest the time. I can sit down with my laptop and kind of train the store manager on how to use it. But as far as making it scalable, we absolutely need to do that. So maybe it's a tutorial video that sits on the website that they would need to go through to kind of be certified. We would love when we work with the franchises to actually, like with T1 Flats, they've got, you know, more or less an ad agency built into their brand. So as we scale it beyond the small businesses, we're kind of hoping that that becomes an element of it too, where we can have a marketing point person that we work with.
I hope you guys, I hope Mandy comes in on with 2 years time. But let me to ask you, when you have this, very model, and I would like to know, have you tested that with your clients and sure they're willing to pay $250 upfront and something based on performance?
We're programming it right now, so we haven't sold it yet, but the initial feedback we've gotten is pretty positive. We've talked to some great scenarios.
What do you think? What do you think?
Just a sweet spot, looking at a lot of data, and again, looking at what the brand spend, you know, an average Taco Bell here is going to do about $1 million in revenue for a brick and mortar store. They're spending $4,000 to $10,000 a month, and so based on the coupons that are currently, what it costs them printed versus the built-in deals that we give them, it seems to be a good value, but certainly.
How do you create awareness amongst consumers to even know that there's something mango out there that they should be using?
So if you think of the marketing circle, we're doing a little bit of everything. We're doing a little bit of press release, a little bit of paid advertising, a little bit of free organic, a little bit of word of mouth. Waffle House actually with stickers on their doors, a little bit of physical component. So we're trying to hit every single email, including email marketing, and we're just keeping it really small and local right now as we throughout the concept.
Did you, when you were coming up with your model, did you take your stores and use anything like Google impressions or Google ads or anything like that to do like as far as where you fell in your advertising costs versus what needs to be, how many you're already spending? Because I've looked at it and it's massively expensive. That's why when I look at it, I just say, wow, you nailed the sweet spot so well, it's shocking. But was that one of the things that you looked at? Because if you didn't, you need to, because it's shocking how much money people are spending there, and it is not small money, it is hefty money.
We did, and that's really where the cost per acquisition comes in, because our goal is to keep it less than $1. So if we sell it for $250 and somebody only gets 5 people at the door, that's not our goal. That won't work. But if we charge them $250, they get 1,000 people, that cost per acquisition, redemption, and Chris talked earlier about per redemptions and impressions, so just that, but that's really powerful tool we got both in the back. You were waiting there.
Hi. A couple of questions. One is it a push notification that goes out involuntarily or the customer pulls it up?
Both.
Yeah. And the second question was, who defines the geo bubble in which the push comes in? Does a retailer do that or?
So.
And the third question finally before you start, why mango?
So mango is one of my favorite fruits, but we also came up with it that is a local advertising network on the go, MANGO.
That's neat.
But to answer your other question, so the push notifications, and I just realized we're not repeating the question back, but the push notifications and then does the user pull it up? It's both. So there is a push notification, which obviously we're trying to drive the user to click, yes, I want to receive push notifications. And then when they open the app, there would be a kind of a Rolodex of the deals that are available. To the second question, as far as the geolocation, that is set from so the retailer would enter in the physical location that their deal is going to be promoted from. And then the user would, it's kind of like a slider that they'd be able to select anything from a quarter mile to 25 miles that they want to receive a notification.
So the bubble is defined by the user.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct, yeah.
On the cost side, the $250, is that per set of ads that you push out, or?
That's based on the location. So the user, the $250 is set on the location. So if we had 10 Taco Bells in the Pinellas County area, it would be $250 per location for all those Taco Bells to advertise.
But that's one set of ads going out for $250, or is it a $250 set up the account and then you send out many different campaigns?
Right, they could choose to advertise however frequently they want.
It's per
Right, 2
Oh,
meals per month.
okay, all right.
Yes, correct.
Got it,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it seems to me you have a very limited time to capture this. I mean, it's intuitive to work. So if I'm a vendor, you know, I'm trying to offer something, I want to see as many people signed up and using your app in this area as possible. So, I mean, I hear y'all saying y'all are slowly rolling it out, looking at this. I think y'all need to slam it. I mean, just get as many, I mean, I'm trying to sign up right now, I have a problem that the app's not letting me. I'll go back to the website to do it. But what's your plans to just, your growth seems really slow. I think y'all need to just completely slam it as hard as you can.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good, so the comment was that we need to kind of put the foot on the gas. So we've been trying to market predominantly through the retail segment because one of the early things we uncovered was that we need to drive deals if we have a great app and it does all these things theoretically and we get lots of users, but there's no deals for the users to redeem them and it's not really an effective product. So one of the early things we did was partnering with those brands, with Waffle House, with the local St. Pete and Tampa stores, and try to drive downloads through them so that way we had something to offer the consumer. And like Brian mentioned, we really have to hit the viral part of it. I mean, that's how apps get huge, is by word of mouth, by YouTube campaigns or whatever. So we definitely need to ramp that up.
How you doing?
Quick question for you. Do you have anything in your plan on how to avoid like spam offers? Because I know I use some of these apps all the time, and there's nothing more annoying than getting a coupon that says that it's something special and getting to the store and then being like, oh no, that's not an actual offer. We should always have that price, or either that or something where it's just they're just telling you about a deal and it's not like it's this sort of thing. Do you have any plan on how to avoid that?
Sure, so the question is, do we have a plan to avoid spam? Well, the great thing is the way we built it in is we're charging $250 per location. So in some ways, if somebody wants to pay us $250 to spam, I guess that'd be something a lot to tackle. But we've got that element built in with our contractor, the vendor, is we have a relationship with them to make sure that they're putting in their content. So our goal is to have 100% driven vendor content. So.
Can I piggyback on Carly's question? Carly, when that happens, are you more likely to be frustrated at the app or the retail?
Both.
We've got that built in management for it.
Yeah, I usually uninstall the app and and then I also try not to go back to that business because it's easy to use.
Thank you.
So I downloaded your app and I got 2 coupons, which just 2 coupons, I was like, oh, only 2 coupons, I wanted more. I learned more about who's looking for me.
Right.
So what is your strategy, what are your goals for going after these vendors so that people like me get more than 2 options?
Sure, and keep in mind, we have about 102 deals in the Bay Area right now. Those are segmented based on your gender, age, location, and time.
Yeah.
So depending on what you have set, those 2 are what's showing for you right now.
Sure.
So back to what Chris said earlier, the vendor side is then one-on-one, talking directly with them to get more vendors in there.
Direct
And then
sales.
the consumer portion is hitting with general marketing.
Yeah, so but going after the vendor side, what are your goals? How are you going to go to massively increase that number of people?
I mean, we'll certainly go as fast as we can, but right now it's just one at a time.
Okay.
That's kind of the answer, one at a time here at Tim Bay Area.
And I would add the franchise model. So, with Waffle House, that was the first franchise that we onboarded. And when we went over 1 store, you went over 2 stores, you meet the district manager, and it kind of snowballs. So that's the angle that we're really hoping we can really play out.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you guys are obviously an app-centric startup. What's your thinking, or have you actually looked into the future as that market gets more crowded in terms of, retention of people having their app and adoption, blah, blah, blah? What's your thoughts about that in terms of really future?
So our goal is to be positioned as the central deal app. Gartner has found out that an average consumer can only use about 30 apps on their phone at one time. At some point, if you have a Chick-fil-A app, Starbucks app, McDonald's app, whatever, you're not going to have 50 restaurant apps on your phone. So our model is to be the go-to place for deals on your phone. And then what I alluded to earlier was that we really need to build a business around the analytics and the data that we'll have from the consumers.
Hey, have you looked at like a multi-franchise operation where you could literally strategically partner with them and then become their app and then grow out that way? I'm just curious.
Our strategy is opposite
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
So we'll not stay laser focused on this particular strategy just to be the one go-to place.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to compete with McDonald's app. If they want to have it, that's great.
Yeah.
But there's no reason that a brick and mortar store can't advertise in several different mediums.
So, your demographics, maybe cover this, not just about, okay, I come into, okay, Latino Scala. How many people do you have that are actually downloaded this? I mean, are you gonna fit my demographics? You know, how's that working? You know, what are your numbers for that? So say I was signed up.
Yeah, that's the graph that we showed is our iTunes numbers, and then of course the demographics is spreading between all ages basically. So we can say with confidence that there are hundreds of people right here walking around that have our app on their phone that are going to fall in various categories of demographics.
But I think to further reinforce that, one of the things that we see being more effective as we scale it out is that those demographics are going to become a little bit more expanded in the sense of the numbers in each demographic. And then where we see continual value to the vendor is that we'll be able to sit down and say to them, you have 2,500 females between the age of 24 and 34 that are within 5 miles of your restaurant. And that's where the work really becomes a huge investment.
So you'd be able to say you have that demographic and they have to have downloaded?
Correct. And that's again, that's a future value that we have. Obviously, we collect all that data right now by the individual logging in with the app. But that's where it'll become very laser focused in terms of a vendor pushing out a publication where they'll be able to go in and select who they want to reach with that particular app.
Okay, so you don't have that, like if I signed up right now, you don't have that information available?
No, we do have that information now. I'm just saying that as we scale it, those numbers will become a lot stronger, so it becomes a more powerful message.
Yes. What's proprietary here? What's to stop me from starting up that app?
Nothing. I mean, well, that's the whole idea. So we built a lot of analytics and marketing. So in some ways, nothing. I'm sure you can go build an app too. But we put a lot of time and effort into designing this particular model. So there's reasons we're doing things. There's a lot of things behind the scenes with our vendor portal feeding into our apps. So, I mean, really, we're a very unique model. There are dozens of coupons apps, but there are not any others that we found that have this power behind them. So, in some ways, it's either all or nothing. It's either there's nothing unique about us, or there's a lot that's really unique that makes us different. So, I think you said that.
I'm a fellow app developer too. My company's work provider. So the first thing I want to say is downloading great. I tested everything on it. I signed up for Facebook. I just emailed you guys while you were presenting. I see that the email is within the program, and it's awesome. And to answer that guy's question about why doesn't somebody else build it, because they have, I would bet, at least 1,500 to 2,000 hours of development in this. So it's really great. So bravo.
Thank you.
One comment that I had was, I think that maybe you guys consider turning off the filters on the demos right now. So I only got 2 offers. We have 25 in Tampa Bay. I think those filters are brilliant when you're going to have 500, 700 customers, but to get user engagement as much as possible, I would recommend that you turn those filters off and push all 25 ads at once. Because even though I signed up for Facebook, so it knows how old I am and where I am, I still got 2 totally irrelevant ads. One was, they were not super relevant to me, so it's bravo, guys. It's great.
Thank you very much.
Starting out in Tampa Bay is a very tourist-driven area. I hear you're talking about Waffle House and Taco Bell. Do you have any vendors currently that the tourists would be more likely to go to than the local place? You're not going to find this in Dallas or New York.
We do give a shout out to the Crown. The Crown's a great local place, so we've got a couple Tampa locations, or city locations too.
Going on that, if you are marketing specifically to the tourists here, that can help that option of going viral in other areas. You can follow, okay, well, this guy went to here. Let's say you advertise at the airport, hey, download your Mango app for all the current deals in this area. They download that, and they go back to New York. You know how many people are going back to New York. I'm guessing you can track it. That might be an idea for marketing, focused marketing on that. So tourists, you can see where the next place you should go as you expand it out.
Hi, but as an expert, I asked for you to talk a little bit about your final site, what can the community do for you?
What can you do for us? Obviously, like several of you have already done, you can download the app. It's in Google Play and the App Store. We would recommend that you go through the website, though. That's where you'll be able to find it the easiest. It's themangoapp.com. And then we are open to investment, and we would love connections into restaurants and retail locations. Small one-shops or a franchise would be phenomenal. The big thing with the reviews is if you would be willing to help us is just rate us whether we think we deserve, but certainly a 4.5-star won't help us. So that really does matter. It really makes a difference on the rankings. So the more people that rate us in the store. So if you wouldn't mind taking a minute, that would be really helpful. Thank you, guys.
So as you guys see over here, we've got a lot of entrepreneurial startup-focused events coming up. Next week actually is a kickoff to Global Entrepreneurship Week. So through that, you're going to have a lot of events happening in the area. Just a couple to mention, you have Startup Exchange at Cooper's Hawk, which is basically like a speed dating for startups. So they have attorneys there to give you advice, client service managers, really just to help guide you along your process. On Thursday, you have the grand opening of the Blind Tiger in Ybor. It's, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Black & Denim Apparel Company. It's a local company here that has a new co-working facility in Ybor, which is also attached to a coffee chain. They actually partner with Buddy Brew. So it's a really, really neat space, having the ribbon cutting ceremony this week. And then you have also starting off all this weekend in Global Entrepreneurship Week, you have Startup Weekend, which I'm hoping some of you were here for their presentation. Really cool event, 54 hours to get your idea, your product out the door, and help partner with other entrepreneurs in the area and technical resources. So it's a really great event. Can answer any questions on it if you guys have any more. You have 83 Degrees Media. They're having their 5th annual birthday party. Great media outlet here in the area. It's going to be at the Vault in Tampa. Then you have, obviously, the Veterans Entrepreneurship Training Symposium. You have Tech Talk, which is always at Microsoft. And then Startup Quest, another former presenter of ours. You got Clay and Dick over here that helped give that presentation. They have their pitch day that's coming up. So all of the work that these entrepreneurs have put in over the last couple of weeks, you get to see what they've been working on and where they're trying to go and provide your feedback as well. So great organization to be a part of. And then we have our lovely partners, the Wave, having Pitching 201. Good, as the title says, help you with your pitches and, getting down that elevator, 30-second, 60-second pitch. And then you have Startup Grind. It's always at Oxford Exchange with Ian Anflato. And then Open Pitch Night as well that kicks off weekend that starts at the Wave. So a lot of stuff. Hope you remember it all. No, just kidding. We'll have this followed up on our email, so all the links to all the events will be up there. And if I can answer any questions on them, I'd be happy to. So next up, we have Mr. Brett Lowry with WinPatrol. So please give him a warm round of applause.
I'm Brett Lowry, co-founder of Ruiware, and we're putting the fun back into the internet. Do you remember when the internet first started out? It was really cool. You could surf the net, go to different sites, and not have to worry about malware, spyware, people stealing your data, invading your privacy. Did you miss those? Yeah. That's why we're writing software to help protect your computer, protect your data, and protect your privacy when you're on the internet. A little bit about me. I've been in the software industry now for over 30 years, and I've worked at places like Lucent Technologies where I've worked on switching systems and things. as well as Sunbelt Software there in Clearwater, where I was the lead and architect over both Counterspy Enterprise and Viper Enterprise, which are anti-malware and anti-virus software for business. Sold millions of copies worldwide, and was very successful software. That's where I developed my passion for writing software to help protect people from those who write software to try to steal from them. After leaving Sunbelt, I struggled working just in regular IT shops, really wasn't happy with it, was looking for something else. The ex-CEO of Sunbelt gave me a call because he knew I was looking and told me about a software that was available. It was for purchase. So after some negotiations, on October 1st, we took over as the full owners of WinPatrol, which is a host intrusion protection software that's been on the market for over 17 years. I would imagine most of you in this room have not even heard of it. The original owner really didn't do a lot of marketing or a lot of sales or a lot of press releases for the product, but he did a very good job building a great business. It's got a devout following of users. When the sale was originally announced in the beginning of June, I couldn't tell you how many users sent me emails with the common theme of, don't screw up WinPatrol. We like the software, don't mess it up. And you don't build a following without that, without doing something right. You know, that really made me focus. What is the software? What is he doing right with the software? So, WinPatrol delivers what it promises. Very effective host intrusion protection software without a lot of bloat. It's not like all of the anti-virus software that's out there now that's putting the kitchen sink into their product to be different. This focuses on host intrusion protection and protecting your computer. We have a free version that is free for life. The features that you can use will continue to work for you. The features that are for pay, you have to pay to get to those. We hope that you'll like the software enough that you'll purchase it. We do have a pretty good turnover rate. The software is very high quality. I've been performing the tech support email functions for the software since June 1st. 95% plus of the emails that we receive are from customers who say, hey, I'm rebuilding my computer. The first software I want to install is WinPatrol, but I forgot my license. Can you help me out? We're not getting a lot of bug reports. That makes me very happy to move forward with this. Also, with our installer, we install only WinPatrol. We don't install any other toolbars or any other add-ons. We run the company with integrity to make sure that our customers know they're getting what they're purchasing and we do what we say. What aren't we doing so well? Being a new business, we really don't have a clear business plan. We'll make a lot of money, that isn't so great. We have a strategy we're following to grow the business, but we need some help with that. Time management, currently I'm working a full-time day job as well as running WinPatrol, so that takes a lot of time out of the day. That will be going away soon. That makes me very happy. We are inexperienced with marketing. We're trying to get revenue to the point where we can bring on a marketing firm to help us out. That will also help us out with our website so we can improve those. Currently, we do not have any business edition of the software. That's coming. The future of the business is a new product that we will be introducing very shortly called WinPrivacy. WinPrivacy is designed from the ground up to help protect everything you have on your computer from the dangers of the internet. I have a question. Do any of you know how many programs on your computer are actively going to the internet right now? Oh, yeah. Do you know to where and from where each is sending and receiving data and how much? Are you alerted any time a new program goes to the internet? And even if you knew, is there anything you could do to stop that program short of uninstalling it and hoping the uninstaller does what it says? If it has an uninstaller at all. We live our internet lives like small children, blindly trusting authority. We have no insight as to what's happening behind the scenes. Until now. WinPrivacy rips the veil of secrecy off the programs on your computer by telling you every single program that's going to the internet. In addition, it will tell you how much data each program is sending and receiving, and from where. On top of that, we give you the ability to block any program you want from using the internet. WinPrivacy finally puts you back in charge. And what the fun part that we put the fun back into the internet, is that most malware needs to use the internet in order to download packages that it then explodes out into full infections. Well, with WinPrivacy, we've got your back, because you can direct WinPrivacy to block any new program from going to the internet without your express approval. So finally, you're in charge of your own internet experience. On top of that, we've added the ability to block 2 of the most insidious vectors for invading your privacy app: third-party flash cookies and canvas fingerprint. It's time to take back your internet privacy. Thank you.
One question, how much is this? Because I so want it.
This, right now, we are going to be starting a free beta sale for WinPatrol customers who are licensed. For those customers, it will be $7.99. Once we go to market, it will be $39.99. And it will be $39.99 to purchase the license, and then a $12 a year renewal fee, $1 a month.
Because it really is true. It's bizarre, but when you think that you have, Google or Mozilla or any of the major internet people come back and forth, and what you will find if you're really good and you look into the back panels is that it can be your open office, it can be your Windows documents going, it can be your images going, like out of Casa or Photoshop or anything. It can, I'm just going to say, it will shock you what is leaving your PC or laptop. It will shock you.
With the software, once I got it all up and running, I had over 57 programs going to the internet. I was shocked. I had no idea it could have been that many. I was assuming it was going to be around 25 to 30.
Thank you for inventing it.
Thank you.
Whoever did it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
What platforms do you support?
What platforms do we support? Currently, it's Windows. We're trying to bring revenues up to the point where I can bring in some people that will help us out to get Android and other and the iOS to round out the market so we can protect anyone who's trying to go to the internet.
So eventually also support handhelds, smartphone.
That is the objective, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with this lady, wherever you been all this time. We're pleased to see your program getting online. I think that as far as marketing is concerned, you said you had some questions about how to market this. I think that if you continue to market the way that all the anti-malware systems work, which is to basically go through the internet and offer, advertise, whether we Google or whatever, I don't think you'll get far because people won't know the difference between what you're doing and not a simple malware, anti-malware system. So what I think you would have a great chance is as you start getting customers would be to, at the beginning to be to pay back your customers for getting you new customers. Talk to all their friends and get the same system installed on their computer, in which case you would reward them monetarily or otherwise. And then your name would spread at that point, much more than if it was advertised on the internet.
That's a very good idea. That's something we had discussed doing, something like that, a rewards program, as well as we're also looking at like hometown programs for giving special discounts to people in the local area. So I'll start building revenue from here. Yes.
Yeah. There's definitely a need for these programs, and it seems like it's a great program. So congratulations on one side. But let me ask you that. What makes you believe that you will succeed on something like that in Australia for the last 17 years?
Well, this is taking a different approach than most places have taken. How are we going to succeed? It's because we're taking a different approach. I've worked in an antivirus company for 9 years. I'm well aware of how they do things. There are things they do very well. There are other things that they can do differently, but the industry is what it is, which is one of the reasons why I left Sunbelt and set out to do something on my own, because I felt I had a better idea, a better way of doing it. Sir.
Just an observation. It was very refreshing to hear your presentation because you spent equal time in explaining what you don't do and what you do. So thank you. It speaks a lot about the integrity of your product.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
So you're building a product. Are you finding and using local talent to build this product or not?
Currently, I am the local talent building this product. The intention is, yes, there are people that I work with at the antivirus company who have moved on to other jobs. I've been in contact with them, and I'd be bringing in other local talent, yes. Yes, made in America, that's the one.
Well, made in Tampa Bay.
Even better, yes.
No, I mean, do you think you can find the talent to fulfill your mission with the talent that's here in Tampa Bay?
If we send over to Orlando, definitely. I've worked with, some of the people I've worked with in the antivirus have moved to Orlando since then to pick up jobs because they had trouble finding things here. I'm trying to lure them back. Once I can afford to bring them back, they'll come. They'd rather be here, so. Yes.
Do you have any intellectual property, or are you planning on developing intellectual property for this wind privacy functionality, or what's to prevent Norton or McAfee or APG or Avast from introducing the same thing?
What's to prevent them from introducing the same thing? They don't innovate. All of these antivirus companies go out, buy other products, and integrate them into their product. They do very little integration or original development. You know,
they have the market, so
they do
what's
have
your
the market.
plan to-
Well, this would be a companion product for your current antivirus solution. You know, this isn't a full-fledged antivirus because we don't scan the computer, we don't remediate if you're infected. What we do is we help prevent that from happening in the first place. Yes, sir.
First off, WinPatrol, was that developed by Landmark?
No, WinPatrol was originally developed by Bill P. Studios. We initiated the purchase in June and completed it October 1st.
How many users do you have?
WinPatrol has millions of users worldwide.
And you own all of that?
Yes.
So what's the revenue, what's the size of your company?
The size of the company, right now, there's just myself and my wife.
I mean, what revenue-wise?
Revenue-wise,
How much revenue are you generating?
the revenue-wise with WinPatrol is challenging because it's always been offered as a lifetime license. So once a person purchases once, that's it.
But you have access to everyone who purchased the license?
Yes, I do. Yes, and or the people who are running the freeware as well.
Really?
Yeah, we have access to their email addresses, and we'll be targeting them with the marketing for
Have you met the
WinPatrol.
PC connection?
No, not yet. We need to talk. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You said it's not offered for businesses, but as a small business owner with only 2 computers, is it a product that I can download?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would recommend actually the personal edition rather than a business edition for that. The business edition would be one more for larger companies, 5 or more PCs, where from one central location you'll be able to deploy the software and manage it from one place. With a small business, I would just put an individual license on each. We also have family pack editions, where if you were to have 3 or 4 computers, you could purchase that and get it at a little bit better price. Yes, sir.
On your other page, we're talking about how the program can monitor who's downloading or, I mean, where everything's going and whether or not you want to stop it or let it go. As a person who's not 100% computer literate, I look at that, okay, well, is it supposed to be doing this or is it not? I mean, is there something that says you really don't want this happening, you might want to put a stop?
Exactly. We have that built into the product where we will make recommendations to you. WinPatrol has a plus feature for its paying customers where it tells you if something is good, if it's something we're not sure about, or if it's definitely malware. We will be leveraging that data in WinPrivacy as well to help out. And have a feature where we will say, hey, if we'll allow you to check a box that says, hey, go ahead and if you know it's good software, let it run. Don't block it. But you'll always be able to look at it and change and say, no, I would rather block. You know, I don't want Office going out. I'll update it when I need it. Yes, sir.
Is there any kind of like crowdsourcing or social component to the filtering of it? Because I look at software like for like I've got 3 kids and they've all got their, you know, you switch on, okay, this is a kid's computer, and you, especially when you first deploy the computer, you're constantly improving websites for them. And I'd love there to be like a social component to that where parents have said, yeah, I've improved this site for my 12-year-old and I can see the same kind of thing in this arena where people are saying, yeah, this site is okay, or at least this site is bad, don't go here. And try and cut through some of that configuration that you have to do.
The question is there a social component to this? And is it built into the product? At the moment, no, but that sounds like a very good feature to add. Anything that will help make this easier to configure and install is something we will target and push to put into the product, because many of the issues that face people when using software, if you download it, you run it, and you look at it and you say, what do I do with this? What is this? You know, we need to get past that. There is a bit of that with WinPatrol right now. We will be working to remedy that. You know, the plan is to completely rewrite the UI, not revolutionary rewrite, but just evolutionary, so that it's a little easier, more intuitive to use, and that we will have videos posted online and explain how to use each and every one of the features. Yes, again.
Yeah, I can see if one place to market would be small IT companies that service small businesses like mine. Because my first question would be to go back to them and say, should I put this on my computer? Because they're monitoring my computers from their location. So I would think that.
Right, and yeah, the question was that we should market to businesses that manage IT solutions. And yeah, that is one of the areas that we will be going after, and that would actually, they would be integrating with our business product at that point. I've actually done that type of integration with the Viper business, with several of the local companies here and national companies have done that.
So, three things. First thing, have you heard of zone alarm for the?
Yes.
How similar are you in privacy to zone alarm?
Zone alarm, how similar are we to zone alarm? Zone alarm is more of a traditional firewall, where you install it and you look at it and you really don't know what the questions are that it's asking you or what to do with it. You know, WinPrivacy does have firewall type components within it, but we're trying to make it simple and easy to use. We're writing the software for the people who are running the software. We're not writing it for ourselves. We're not writing it for the experts in.
So the next one is, have you ever seen Little Snitch on the Mac? Okay, you should take a look at it, because it does some very cool things just like this. And it's on the Mac, so it doesn't compete with you. But if you look at how they do their interface, it's really well done. And third, you have any indications in your recommendations that pop up on the geographic location of the IP address? Because a lot of this stuff is coming out of China, Ukraine, Russia, Eastern Europe, and a real low-hanging fruit is to say, hey, this is coming out of China.
Well,
you don't want it.
You're touching on the question was, do we have anything in the product that denotes geographic location of where something would be coming from? One of the features that will be going into the product, possibly pre-release, definitely in the first release thereafter, will be the ability to block traffic based on geographic location. We'll let you know where it's coming from, but you'll also be able to say, look, I don't know anyone in Russia. I don't know anyone in China. Block. And so we're building that into the product. You know, it's the feature set is an initial feature set. It will be growing, and that is definitely one that we'll be adding.
That's a good one to add.
Yes, sir.
Going forward, are you looking to move away from the lifetime licensing, so you get like a monthly fee for what
Yes.
you do?
Yes.
Because, I mean, I'm having trouble. You have all these millions of users, but how do you sustain revenue? Because that revenue is gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So can you add features for the existing ones, and then they pay for it on a subscription base, or?
What we're looking at doing is changing the revenue model for WinPatrol. WinPrivacy, there will be the annual subscription fee of $12. For WinPatrol, I'm looking at putting in an annual subscription fee of $6 a year for that. For new purchases starting after the first of the year. Legacy customers who have purchased the product over the last 17 years will continue to get it for free. I'm not going to back away from that promise they were given. But for new purchases moving forward, there will be the nominal fee for getting the updates, the free updates, and the support for the product.
But back to the existing one, isn't there a way you can still provide the base services under the contract you promised them, but then have an enhanced version that they can pay additional to get those features, so you're able to get some? Because continuing revenue stream from that existing customer base you have?
Yeah, the question is how will we be able to leverage the current customer base to generate more revenue? That's something we will need to address. You know, there's things possibly of phone tech support, because currently it's tech support's all via email, where they could, if they wanted to pay for premium phone support, or if maybe we had some additional features that were saying, hey.
I mean, $1 a year and 1 million customers is $1 million a year.
Well, I understand. Believe me, I have looked at those numbers because the current sales revenue, you know, we purchased the company was not enough for me to just walk away from the job and say, woo, all right. So yeah, I have been looking at those revenues and thinking of a lot of ways of trying to generate extra revenue, and any ideas definitely would be welcome. Yes?
It's not about leveraging the millions of users for crowdfunding. Whether it's just donate to the cause to continually upgrade your website, or even starting a Kickstarter for, you know, the expansion of Win Privacy, and then you have millions of users who already love your product. You can just email out, hey, by the way, Kickstarter.
Right. The question is, have we looked at alternative ways of generating revenue, like Kickstarter? Yes, we have. One of the things we're doing with Win Privacy is having a special pre-beta sale that will be starting with customers, any paying customer for WinPatrol will be able to purchase the product for 80% off the expected retail price. We're also looking at probably going to Indiegogo for a campaign, as you had said. And that's two of the ways we're looking at trying to generate some extra revenue. Actually, behind you, sir? Yeah.
Yes, a question and a point. So this will not conflict with my Bitdefender and Malwarebytes, so I can load that on my PC. And then my second point is, if you have the ability to understand where these Russian and Chinese syndicates are coming through, especially if they're using the Tor network, you can sell this to the NSA, because they can find it. So you may have a mark there.
So what was the first one?
Will this conflict with my Bitdefender and Malware?
Will this conflict with Bitdefender or other anti-malware? No, it will not.
Okay.
This will run in parallel with them. We've written it deliberately with that in mind to make sure that we do not conflict with them.
Awesome.
Yep, and as far as the ones going through the Tor network, no, once they start obfuscating their IP address, you know, if the NSA can't find them, I'm not going to find them either. I wish I could, because yeah, then I could go ahead and sell to the NSA and walk away a very rich man. I mean, yeah, there are ways of obfuscating their IP address that just you're not going to find very easily. But at least you may not be able to stop communication with that program, but we still, if it's a brand new program on your computer, we'll just stop it from going anywhere. You know, I don't care if it's to Microsoft's address, if it's a new computer, a new program on your computer, and you have not approved it to go to the internet, we'll stop it if you want us to. You know, that's one way of preventing viruses from happening.
Even in that app, that push, like the Bright House pushed out an app to their Wi-Fi users or their cable subscribers. And it's coming through the Comcast or the Bright House portal. You could block that app from loading.
Not from loading.
Okay.
We're blocking the app. One, they're not pushing to your PC, to your desktop. This is what we're running on right now, is on the desktop.
Yeah, right.
Right? But if you were to go to download the app from Bright House, you run it, you install it, when it tries to go to the internet, we block it, pop up a message and say, hey, there's a new app on the internet, we'll tell you where it is, there's a link where you can find more information about that app out, and then you can make the decision, do I want to let it go to the internet, or am I just going to block that? Because many times when you download software, it goes out and it checks out your computer and says all kinds of data on your computer and what's installed back to the people you downloaded it from. So as far as the push, that's a little bit of a different game. That's more in the phone market, which is a little bit different game.
Google privacy. Are you the only ones that pop up?
Yes.
No more. It's not going to win privacy yet.
No, it should just be us. The site is not live yet for Win Privacy because we haven't started the beta sale.
Okay.
WinPatrol. WinPatrol should be just us. There's been a company in a foreign country that we're trying to go after that is playing WinPatrol. We're trying to get after them to get them to stop, but being in a foreign country is not so easy.
So how about,
Well, their website is not www.winpatrol.com for one. Yeah. Yes.
Funny you should switch to that slide. I have a great question.
Yes.
How can we as a community help you continue to grow your business?
There we go. How can we help? I need a videographer. I need someone to shoot a video for me so I can post up the Win Privacy pre-beta sale. That would be huge. Also getting in touch with some marketing companies, somebody who would be willing to work with a small company based on smaller fees until we start to grow, get more revenue, they're proving they're doing their job and they're earning their money to make more money. That would be great. And then various promotions like people have talked about here for ways of generating attention and generating customers.
I know everybody's anxious to start networking, and sometimes, we skip right past the end. We want to thank everyone for coming today. Thank you to Cow Coffee. Thank you to our great presenters. And also, if you are interested in presenting, get your application in. Even if you're not going to be ready for a couple months. I know the Mango app was in there a while. They let us know what date they're looking for, but they got the application in. So, we work with you on that, and we're just happy to see those applications coming in. In addition, this is the Greenhouse, and if you're not familiar, they are a Chamber City initiative, and they work with a lot of partners locally. And one of those partners is Kobe Marketing, who is doing a food drive currently to the St. Petersburg Free Clinic Food Bank. Going into the holidays, there's a lot of needs and a lot of demand. So the next couple weeks, there will be a bin out there. If you're interested in bringing in some donations for the food bank, please do. And talking about the holidays coming up, we have 3 weeks that we will not be here. So if you show up, we won't, and Cowa won't. So, you can always go to Cowa because they are open. But it is the Wednesday of Thanksgiving week, the Wednesday of Christmas week, and the Wednesday of New Year's. So if you're looking to present, those are great weeks to practice and be ready. If you're not already on our email list, we do send out links to all of these things every Thursday or Friday, because at the end of the week. So please sign up in the back.